What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. We've got an exciting one today. So we are finally going to be starting working on the Mini again. So it's starting to get cold. I'm starting to acquire some car parts and my camera is not on autofocus. Okay, so let's switch that. There. Okay, so yeah, I'm heading to Toronto right now. I'm going to pick up a Turbski. I'm going to pick up a new turbocharger for the Mini. The turbocharger on this thing now is a JCW turbo, which is slightly bigger than a Cooper S. Now, the biggest turbo that you can get from Mini is a 37mm turbo. That basically is good enough for about 250 wheel, give or take. Like, that's like pushing it. But at that point, once you get into the top end, the turbo falls flat on its face. So that's why I'm upgrading to a bigger 47mm turbo that is going to allow me to get easily 350 wheel. My goal for this car is about 300 wheels, so this turbocharger should be more than fine. So the drive that we're going to be doing is pretty much an hour and a half drive there, an hour and a half back. The drive shouldn't be that bad. The stupid thing is that we actually went for this exact same drive just this previous week. I didn't realize that the place that we're going to pick up the turbocharger from is only open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We went there on a Monday and they were closed. Now I'm just thinking to myself, who the hell is not open on a Monday and a Tuesday? Yeah, well, and Sunday for that matter, but Sunday's kind of understandable, but Monday and Tuesday, come on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna be heading down there to Toronto. Hopefully the condition of the turbo is not half bad. If it's good, I'll take it. If not, well, we went for a nice drive. But the reason why I'm kind of taking this chance is because the turbocharger that I want to get, like this exact turbo, if I was gonna be buying it new, it's $1,800. This one is a heck of a lot cheaper. It might need a new wastegate. I'm accounting $100 for that right there. If anything else is wrong with the turbo, I mean, I guess we'll fix it, but I mean, as long as it doesn't really have shaft play and it doesn't need to be rebuilt, we should be okay. The turbocharger isn't used, which is nice. I think it was just damaged when it got into shipping. So I mean, from the sounds of it, I might be getting myself a steal and a half. It's a GT Dominator 47 turbo. The Cooper, the standard turbocharger on the Mini, it basically spools up and creates full boost at about 1,800 RPMs. This thing, I'm probably looking at full boost at about 2,700 RPM. So it is gonna take a little bit longer to spool because it's a little bigger, but at the same time, I'll be making a lot more power. Yeah, should be a good one. Okay, so we're gassed up, fed, ready to go. So we're gonna be taking about an hour and a half drive to get us to Toronto so we can pick up this turbo. And then shopping and yeah. Ready?
Ready.
Ready. Goodbye!
Need anything from the mall?
You.
Hi, YouTube.
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll see you soon, okay, sweet? Okay, so we are actually going to a wedding this weekend. But before the wedding, Liv's got to go shopping. She's got to buy a couple things, and I figured, well, there's a shopping mall on the way. She can go buy her stuff that she needs at the mall. I can go buy my turbo. I think it's a pretty good deal if you ask me. Yeah, so we've still got a good 45-minute drive before we get to the place that's got my turbo. The turbo! Guys, I'm actually really pumped. I remember, like, after I got some exhaust work done in the Mini, I remember that, like, that car, the Mini, was a ton of fun to drive. And it's kind of disappointing because I've got a decent amount of money into that car already and I can't enjoy it. And both of my other cars, like my Honda that I'm driving now, and my Nissan for that matter, they're not exactly the fastest in a straight line. So I mean, this Mini is not only gonna handle well, but it's gonna be a lot faster than both of these cars. This Honda and my 240 are both making under 200 horsepower. The Mini, when I'm done with it, is gonna make over 3. And the thing with that car is that because it also weighs hundreds of pounds less, it's going to be stupid on the street and on the track. I'm really looking forward to it, and this turbo is one of those pieces to the puzzle. So once I have this turbo, I'll be able to, well, not finish my turbo build for the Mini, but I'll be able to at least get it going a little bit more. Right now I'm in the process of taking off the turbo for the Mini right now, the turbo that's on it, because I'm still in the disassembly stage, but it takes a long time. I'm definitely gonna get going with it now that well, like, not winter's here, but it's starting to get cold, so I'm not really gonna be working on the 240 or the Accord as much, so that's where the Mini comes in. And the Mini is gonna be a ton of fun. I've got a lot of videos in mind. I gotta take apart the whole motor. I'm probably gonna put a new limited slip differential in it, change the gearing. I've got a lot of stuff to do. But the power is one part of it that needs to be done. When I take the motor apart, I am gonna be going with built internals, so I'm gonna have a stupidly strong engine that'll be able to handle the extra boost that I'm gonna be feeding it. There are people that are running this same turbocharger with stock internals, and they're making about 300 horsepower, which is great, but I also want to have the reliability aspect to it. I don't want to put a stupid amount of stress on the engine with weak parts. So that's my game plan. So I'm going to start this back up whenever I get down there, and you guys are going to see the new turbo. Okay, so I'll be back in a couple minutes. The next time that you see this guy, I'm gonna be the proud owner of a new turbocharger. So, I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so I got a little something. Okay, so online, the turbocharger's description box said that there was one pipe, one little thing that was broken, and there was a picture of the wastegate with a little nipple that's busted. I was like, okay, that's not a big deal, but it also said something was dented. So I'm looking around and I don't really see anything that's damaged. I took a look at everything. There's no shaft play. There's no nothing play. Everything seems to be perfectly fine. But for whatever reason, they were selling this at a really cheap price. So the online asking price for this thing was 750 Canadian. I didn't buy it because I was kind of skeptical about this. Then they dropped the price to 550 and I was like, friggin' hell yeah, I'm gonna pay that price for it. So I was like, even if the cold side of the turbocharger here is busted, you can see we've got cold side and hot side. If the cold side was busted, I could probably spend the money on getting a new one and I'd still be ahead, because this turbo retails for 1,800 bucks American. Do the conversion now and you'll be surprised on how cheap this actually is. But I priced it out. The new wastegate, if I want to replace it, if I can't fix that, is gonna cost me 100 bucks. The wastegate operates and you can actually still hear it. So I mean, I don't know. If I can go ahead and JB weld and fix that problem right there, I'll be laughing. But I mean, for the price that I paid, I'm not complaining at all. The new wastegate is gonna cost me about 100 bucks if I get a new one, if I can't get that to work. But the really nice part about this turbo is that it is a fully direct bolt-on for the Mini Coopers. If you have a Cooper S, if you have a John Cooper Works that comes boosted from the manufacturer, you take off your little small 37 mil turbo and you bolt this 47 mil on instead. And you will see a huge difference in power. So I'm gonna box this back up, go pick up Olivia, because I think she's probably gonna be done shopping by now. And then we're gonna mount this thing on the Mini. I'm so pumped. We can't exactly do it now, but once I get the Mini build going, once I start taking everything apart, and once I fix the internals and put forged internals in there, the car's gonna be good to go, and we're gonna be able to bolt that on and see some mad power. But the Mini build is going, so I am going big turbo. It's not a massively big turbo, but it's still a big turbo nonetheless. Okay, let's go take another, hour and a half drive home. Hopefully there's no traffic. Okay, I'll see you guys at home. Okay, so we're back home, and now we're gonna actually take a look at the turbo and get a closer look at it. Here is what's good. So I'll be straight, I'm not sure where this guy actually picked this thing up. I bought it from like an auction site. I was kind of skeptical, but it actually turned out to be not half bad. So this is our new big turbo. So you can see that we have the cold side found here. This is all the polished aluminum. So we have a larger port right here. We have a wastegate found up front. We have the blow-off valve found down here. and we have the inside part of the splines for the turbocharger. So down in there is our wheel. That's our compressor wheel. You look on the other side, we're gonna have one as well, down over there. So when the wastegate actuates and vacuum is applied to this side, what happens is it pulls this like that, and it opens up a port out of here. So what happens is it releases the boost pressure that's made from the turbocharger. So this is what's called the wastegate, this entire thing here. And the nipple on the end of it is what's actually broken with it. So that's what the vacuum line attaches to, the part that broke off. If I can get this to work and I can reattach this little piece here, I'll be laughing, because at that point, it's not gonna cost me an extra $100 for a new wastegate. So from the looks of it, it just snapped and broke right off. If I could probably, I'll bet I could probably JB weld this, because if I can get that to work, as I said, that's $100 in my pocket that I'm not gonna have to spend. But at that point, that is the turbocharger. So to anyone that doesn't know how this works, we've got the hot side here, and this is the side that connects up to our exhaust system. So our manifold connects right up here to the turbocharger. So this is a T4 turbo, and you can see the orientation of this. And you can also see that there's 2 ports in here, which means this is a twin scroll turbocharger. All the excess gases, once they travel through the turbo and spin the compressor wheel, it can exit out of here and travel out through our exhaust system. So the cold side and the hot side, both of the little wheels in there are connected with a shaft that goes all the way across, found on the inside of here. The wheel on the cold side is what's going to be supplying our boost pressure. So all of our air is going to come in through here, through our air intake. Once it gets compressed, all that compressed air is going to come out of this port here. It's going to lead down into our intercooler, and then it's going to lead into our intake manifold. This turbocharger is water cooled, and it's also oil fed. What that means is that the turbocharger is going to be properly lubricated once it spins over 100,000 RPMs. And at that point, it's also going to be able to cool this entire thing pretty well, because you have coolant circulating through the whole turbo. In addition to that, it also makes it so that the engine temperatures will warm up faster, because we have coolant basically running through the exhaust. So that's pretty much all I can show you guys for now. I'm going to get the camera and show it actually in front of the car and show you the size difference from this turbo to the stock one that I have. So taking a look at this guy, this is the turbocharger that's connected up to the car. This is a John Cooper Works turbo, which means that it's slightly bigger and slightly better than the Cooper S. People that have Cooper S's, they typically upgrade to this turbo that I have right here. Since I have a John Cooper Works Mini though, what people typically do is they'll upgrade from a 37mm to a 42. I didn't go that route. I wanted to go for even more of an upgrade than that. So instead of a 42, I went with a 47. And you can see that there's the same holes down here on this turbo as there is on this. So it is going to be a complete bolt-on. I've got the wastegate down there. That's pretty much the same kind of mechanism right here. They're both vacuum actuated. Now what's nice about this turbo 2 that I'm going to be upgrading to is that every single port is going to be larger. So the turbo, the way that I have it right here, is just slightly twisted. So this will be the proper orientation as to how it will be mounted. So taking a look at everything here versus here, the upgraded turbo has larger ports both on the cold side for both the intake and the output of the cold side. On the hot side over here, this diameter here is also larger than the stock one. What we're gonna be able to do is we're gonna be able to produce more power, we're gonna have more airflow, but because it's slightly bigger, it's just gonna take a little bit longer for it to spool. So instead of that sub 2000 RPM full boost, I'll be sub 3. Now it's not going to be that much of a difference, because when you're racing, you're not typically going to be staying underneath 3,000 RPM. So to me, that trade-off and that little negative part of it is not an issue. If you only are looking for low-end torque and low-end power, and you don't really want to rev it out that much, I would go with a smaller turbo like this. But at that point, you're not going to be making crazy boost. Since I'm going for crazy power and want to make this thing absolutely stupid fast at the track, big turbo it is. This is the motivation that I need so that I can get rid of everything that you're seeing in the frame and replacing it with only better stuff. I can't say that I can take the full credit for finding this turbo. There's a guy, and his name is Matt, and he's a mini tech in Ottawa. He has this exact same turbocharger on his Mini Cooper S with stock internals, and he's been enjoying that and hooning the hell out of it. I was talking to him about his build, and he said, hey, take a look at this turbo. Well, not this specific one, but this model turbo. He's like, if you can find one, get your hands on it, buy it, put it on your car, and you'll love it. A couple weeks later, he sent me a message and he's like, hey, there's actually one in your area for sale. And I don't know how he found it down here, but he found it, sent me the link, and I was able to pick it up. So thank you, Matt. I appreciate your help hooking me up. Not really hooking me up, but keeping an eye out for me. I'm gonna continue with the mini build and actually get going with it so that once springtime comes around, I'll actually have a functioning vehicle so that I can hoon around the track. I'm super pumped, and this is one step closer to making it stupid fast. If you guys have any questions regarding the build, regarding the video, regarding the turbo, whatever, throw it down in the comment section down below, and I'd be more than happy to help. Again, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.